Hello, my name is Glenn Dyer, and you are watching a Dyer-Situation. Today I'm seeing Now You See Me 2. I'm wondering if that title's a joke, like, Now You See Me 2! Now you see me again! Jesus. Is Hollywood that desperate? I mean, Now You See Me. Did anybody actually, really like that movie? Did anybody, watch that movie when it came out? It was just like, oh yeah, we gotta see that Now You See Me movie. What? Now, from what I remember, its success was mild to non-existent. But I'm guessing this just has the Taken effect, where even a movie that gets a slight amount of success in the box office immediately gets its own trilogy now. And from what I remember, Taken didn't have that much hype around it either. A little more than Now You See Me, sure, though. And it got its own trilogy. And now, the first Now You See Me, I watched it the other day. I could have watched it back in the day, but it looked like just another Morgan Freeman film, so I didn't care. So I watched it the other day, and it's so generic and so stupid. I can't imagine why somebody greenlit a sequel to it. Jeez. Yeah, that's just super annoying. But anyway, let me get to the movie itself. So, the first movie, it's basically a group of 4 magicians. Well, all of them are magician specialists. One's an escape artist, one's a trickster, one's a stage magician, and one's a mentalist. So, hypnosis and stuff like that. And they're all called together for a secret mission to basically, rob banks and bankrupt rich people and stuff. Now that whole premise sounds fun, right? You get to see a lot of magic and magic tricks and cool stuff happening, and I mean, there are some cool magic tricks out there. The only parts that annoy me of that is when they just use really obvious special effects in order to cover up the fact that nobody knows magic. For instance, they were removing this sheet, and it was one of those sheets that, disappears really fast. It seems to disappear into nothing, evaporate into nothing. And it was a fully CGI sheet, and you can tell, really, really tell. And it's just annoying, you'd hope for a movie like this, they'd put, actual magician stuff into it. But, no, at least for the stuff that, on the stage, where it's supposed to be a magician's act, but, whatever. My main problem with it, this is with the whole plot, major plot hole with that movie, is that, So during one of the big wow scenes, they rob a bank in Switzerland and just dump all of the money from it onto the audience, right? Police call them in, and they question them on stuff, and they're magicians, so they're being wacky, and they're not, answering anything. And then they let them go. That was the stupidest part of that whole movie for me. The way they explain why they let these people who, whether you have an explanation for it yet or not, have taken money from a bank Here's the thing. Don't fully understand how they did it, but they've already admitted that they've done it. You can't let them go. Pretty much, the dumbest thing I've ever heard is that they let them go. like, the explanation they leave is the one that Jesse Eisenberg's character gives. He says, well, if you keep us here, if you charge us, then that means that the government's admitting on an institutional level that it believes in magic. I would say no, it's believing at an institutional level that it's agreeing at an institutional level that it believes in confessions and evidence of theft. Jesus. And here's the thing. They call in Morgan Freeman, who saw the show, and of course he's Morgan Freeman, so he can explain the whole thing. And he explains exactly how they stole it. And even then, they still, for whatever reason, not explained to the audience, can't arrest them. And then the next one they do, like, they totally disappear off the grid and they have to be chased and stuff, but dumbest thing I've ever seen! Why couldn't they arrest him after that first one? Jesus Christ. Although, there was a twist later in the movie that, like, makes you think, oh, okay, maybe somebody was working behind the scenes to make that happen, but still, it's dumb that the other cops didn't catch up on that. Dumb. But yeah, just the movie in general, it's forgettable. It's kind of flashy, but, like, I would never, like, recommend it, even on, like, a basic level, just because, like, really, really mind-numbing, really stupid. Like, I think Fury 7, honestly, had a little bit more to offer, because that was, like, dumb fun, and Now You See Me is just like, oh, Jesus Christ. So yeah, completely baffled that there's now a Now You See Me 2. Now You See Me 2. Don't know what the plot's about, don't particularly care. Let's watch it. It's alright. It's okay. Pretty much exactly the same as the first for me, I'd say. Can't say I'd recommend it. Pretty stupid. Covers up a major plot hole by just having one character be on their side for some... I don't know, for the most part I guess it's alright. I didn't like it any more or less than the first one, just like, it's pretty much the same thing. You know, Jesse Eisenberg and his friends are going around being magicians, outsmarting everyone. Although I do admit there was a thing there was a plot thing in this movie that I did enjoy where like Daniel Radcliffe and his friends have basically outsmarted them and thrown them into a spooky situation and stuff. I kind of like that aspect of it, where the smartasses who I kind of hated from the first movie are getting outsmarted. The only problem is those smartasses are our protagonists, so they happen to win at the end, which I didn't like. But just overall, it's alright. There's some decent action scenes, decent magic tricks, although it really does annoy me when they pull off magic tricks, explain how they work, but what we saw in the magic trick does not add up to how it's explained. For instance, there's a scene at the end, which I thought was kind of clever, where they use strobes to make it look like the rain is stopped and going up and stuff like that. It's an awesome effect you can do, and we saw it earlier when they go to this magic shop and they're like looking at something. The only thing is, make this quite clear, when the rain is falling like that and you use the strobes to make it look like it's stopped, it's still there, it's still falling, it just doesn't look like it's falling. But people in the area, they turn down their umbrellas, and like their hair is not getting wet or anything, and they're like, wow, it's actually stopped! And that was dumb. You would still hear it, and when you pulled that umbrella down, it would still hit you in the head. But, just, God. My main problem with these movies is that it's centered around, like, the whole premise is that that a band of magicians are fighting for righteous causes, right? That's the premise. That's cool, and the whole movie is based around cool magic tricks being done. Although my problem is, there are some really cool magic tricks that are done in the real world that look awesome and totally can't explain it a lot of the time. And if the movie were built around tricks like that, it'd be cool. But instead, it just uses the magic of cinema. And after a while, you just begin to expect that they could do anything, and it doesn't seem magical anymore. And it's pointless. Like, honestly, the magic in this film, after a while, becomes no more magical than the fact that Superman can fly, or something like that. It becomes just ordinary. And it's really disappointing. Honestly, this movie would have been helped a lot if they stuck only to tricks that are actually being performed. You know, stuff like that. And there was this one scene in particular that really got me. It's a scene where Mark Ruffalo's character, he's doing some magic stuff to escape from a group of guys who are trying to attack him, right? But the scene is so closely shoved in, so quickly cut, so shaky, that I honestly can't tell what the hell he's doing most of the time. And it makes it look like Mark Ruffalo can honestly not perform a magic trick. Like, at all. That's what it looks like. And that's terrible. It looks terrible. I don't like shaky cam in general, but especially when it's a movie that is based around, like, fantastic magic tricks. The fact that you aren't able to see the frickin' magic tricks is frustrating. And makes for a bad scene. And that's pretty much the whole movie. That's my whole spiel on it. But there is another scene I'd like to talk about. It's this really creative action scene that I actually kind of liked. You see, they have this playing card, and it has a MacGuffin taped onto it, right? So, basically, they're trying to sneak the MacGuffin out of this area, and they have to do it really carefully, because if they're caught, you know, it's all over. If it sets off the metal detector, it's all over and stuff, right? And we know they've been practicing card tricks for a while. So, one of the guys in the room gets suspicious that they might have the MacGuffin, so he has them searched, right? And the first guy, he flips it around, he hides it behind his hands and stuff, and when he has his hands turned around, he subtly flips it around to the other side, so it's always hidden from the people. And it looks cool. And the guy finishes frisking him, and it looks like it's all over, and the guy passes the card to the other person who is currently being frisked. And this goes on several different times. Several unnecessary passes between everyone. It made no sense in the movie. It also made generally no sense that they would let them leave, since the MacGuffin was obviously gone and was there before they entered. But of course, that's the plot hole I was talking about that was kind of erased by the fact that somebody else in that room was working for them secretly. But still doesn't explain why they were throwing the MacGuffin around everywhere. Like, that served no purpose, only to make their jobs harder. I don't get it. I really don't. But that's pretty much the whole thing. And until next time, I'm Glenn Dyer, and you have been watching A Dyer Situation.